The minute this was released, so many people were coming into my comments saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? I was getting tagged. I was about to go on a cruise. So I got to be honest with you, watching a documentary about a woman going missing on a cruise ship wasn't exactly the pregame I had in mind. But I did watch it on the airplane home because I couldn't wait any longer. I was like, I got to watch this. I watched it. I have some opinions. Let's get into it. So let me just start by saying, you don't see everything in the documentary, right? If you really want to dig into this case, I'm sure there's a lot of other details that weren't shared with us. So it's a little hard to make opinions just from watching this one show. But the one thing that I think is resounding that we all could probably agree with, Amy Bradley is still missing today because in the first couple of hours of her disappearance, I don't know that the right people were showing the right level of concern, right? You can't really say that Royal Caribbean did the wrong thing or the family did the wrong thing or whatever. Like you can't pinpoint where it broke down, but there is a lot of stuff that had to go wrong. And in order for it to go wrong, there had to be a lot of people who sort of kind of minimalized it. Now, this is the only time I'm going to say something in the defense of all of this, is that she was 23 years old. When her dad walks up and says, she left the room this morning and she's missing. She's 23 years old. So if you're the employee, I can understand where you would be like, okay, do you think she went for a jog? Do you think she went to breakfast? Do you think she's reading a book up on the deck? Do you think she went? I mean, there's a lot of places that a 23-year-old could go, especially when you're sharing a cabin with your brother and your parents. You probably at times just want to go and do your own thing and be alone. So that might not have been a cause for panic. It just might not have been. If this were a 7-year-old girl, then I think it's a different story. But still, you hear the words missing. I think that purser, I think the cruise director, I think anybody who knew in those early stages should have done the right thing. They should have called the code Charlie or whatever. They should have called the captain immediately. It does not hurt them to leave the gangway up for an extra 30 minutes to verify where she is. And this bullshit about we can't make an announcement at 7 a.m. because it will disturb everybody. You're 10 minutes from the fucking port. Everybody's already awake. They're ready to get off the boat and go into Curacao for the day. They're awake. So there's no excuse not to make that announcement. There's no excuse not to just page her. Like that's all you need to do. Attention passengers, can Amy Bradley please immediately report to a purser's desk or please contact the purser's desk via phone in one of the hallways, whatever. Make a fucking announcement. Make the announcement. I do not think for a second that she went overboard. I don't think she jumped. I don't think she fell. She was not in the water. Because again, they were so close to the shore, she would have washed up immediately. When the ship is coming into a port, there are other not tugboats, but there are other boats that are in the water, usually like Coast Guard or something nearby. There are people lining the dock, watch ships come into port. Someone would have seen something in the water. And even if they hadn't, she would have washed up in like 48 hours because they were so close to the shore. Even if marine life had gotten a hold of her, pieces of her, parts of her, I hate to sound morbid, but there would have been remains of her that would have washed up on shore. There's no way she went into the water. So that leaves us the option of she left her room. The sliding glass door was open. She may have gone out of her room. Maybe it's purely innocent. Maybe Amy went to go meet Yellow and his friends that morning for some coffee or some breakfast. Or he said, oh, come to our dining room. We have the best breakfast. And she's like, okay, because she wouldn't have known any better, right? And so maybe she did unintentionally go hang out with people she shouldn't have been with. And they somehow got her off that ship. Her father seeing her out on the balcony. And then suddenly her disappearing. You want my opinion? I don't think she walked through the room and walked out. Everybody seems to forget that those partitions between the balconies, those partitions can collapse. And we can't do it. You and I, we can't open the partition. They don't want us walking on someone else's balcony. But the crew can. The crew can open those partitions. How the hell do you think they do balcony maintenance? They don't come into the room and go out and do balcony maintenance, come back in. When they do balcony cleaning, they don't go into each room. They go out on the balcony, they open the partitions, and they walk along all the balconies and clean all the balconies. Those partitions open. When you get an adjoining cabin, they open the partitions so you have adjoining balcony. I didn't hear any mention of, I don't think it's the creepy neighbor, but I didn't hear anything about any other neighbors on any other side. How do we know somebody didn't just open the partition and grab her right off the chair? We know she'd been drinking. Her receipt showed, I think she had like 6 Miller Lights. So that wasn't enough to make her so hammered. But how do you know somebody didn't slip something into one of them, right? How do we know she wasn't so passed out that she couldn't fight back? You don't know these things. I would assume that someone took her off a balcony, but that's my take. What sealed it for me were those photos. The website, the adult pleasure website photos. I 100% believe those photos are her. So when those photos were taken, I think it was like just several years after she was missing, maybe 5 years after she was missing, those photos surfaced. I think it was her. I think she was alive. I think she was being trafficked. I think she was probably, put in a situation where she's probably being drugged and prostituted and all these things, and she can't escape this world she's in. Or it's possible she doesn't want to. Maybe she has a child that she doesn't want to leave behind. Maybe they've threatened her family. Maybe something's happening that she can't get away or won't get away, right? I wholeheartedly believe all 3 witnesses when they said that they saw her. Absolutely. The descriptions, the person she was with, the way she was acting, the accent. Virginia has a very distinct accent. I can tell you, I believe every single one of them. A little bit pissy that military guy, that he didn't do more, because she flat out said, I'm Amy Bradley, I'm being held, I owe these guys money. Like, she fucking told him the entire thing. It's not the exact act of heroism we would want from one of the members of our military. And that cruise director, I mean, could there be a bigger asshole? Could there? Like I said at the beginning of the video, the complete lack of concern for humanity. Someone is missing, but we got to get to dinner. I got to go do my bouffant hair, and I got to get out on the gangway and do a little dance with the old ladies. It's very rare that I come across a person who makes me just want to punch them in the throat. Kirk Detweiler is one of those people. I know you agree with me. You do. You agree with me. So yeah, the takeaway is it's been 27 years and Amy Bradley is still missing. I promise you, security has improved a lot. There are cameras everywhere on a cruise ship, and you can't get off without scanning your key card and then scanning your key card back in with your photo. They make sure that they count everybody, even the crew. Even the crew has to go through the security. It's like the airport TSA, the crew has to go through. Same thing. You have to validate that you're getting off the boat if you're the crew. That does not mean that there's not bad behavior or questionable behavior on behalf of the crew. Believe me, I just saw the cruise director on my last cruise doing something that I thought was pretty frightening, but it's the cruise industry. They always have to give you the illusion that they're perfect.